Hey everybody, welcome back to another session of tarot tutorial. My name is Robin and this is my channel Aries Fire Tarot. So I've done an introduction video and I've dedicated a video each to wands. I'm just brain dead this morning, so bear with me. Pentacles, cups, and swords. So we're just gonna push on. Anyway, guys, I hope you're doing great. Thanks so much for being here. I'm going to do a little chapter on how to start reading and how to feel comfortable reading, okay? Actually reading the tarot. So if you have any questions for me, put them down below in the comments or email me at ariesfiretarot@gmail.com. And I am compiling a little bit of a list. So thanks for everybody that has sent your questions so far. And I'll wait a few days before I post the Q&A just to give people enough time to actually watch the sessions and get back to me with questions. So when you start reading, guys, the most important thing is your comfort level, okay? You can see that I'm surrounded by tons of stuff. There's stuff that you see on camera that relates to, you know, my environment. And then there's stuff that stretches on around my home because tarot is my passion. If I don't read tarot every day, things just don't seem right, okay? I feel like there's an emptiness. So I love reading tarot. I love the tarot symbolism, and it also is a really good reminder to stay really passionate about your journey with tarot. So the most important thing here is to give yourself time. Are you ready to read? And you'll know, okay? If you didn't give yourself enough time to study, to refresh yourself, I went over how, like, I made notes for myself. I made little cheat sheets and I shared them with you guys during the training sessions. I still have them today, okay? I have my companion and reference books. I still use them today, particularly when we're using a very challenging deck where you're like, wow, I really wish I knew what this card means. Even experienced, super experienced tarot card readers get confused, lose their place, need to confirm, you know? So don't ever feel like I should know this by now and give yourself a hard time, because that's not how you're going to really love tarot. It's like, this is the journey of a lifetime, just the same way that all the suits are the journey of a lifetime and the major arcana are a journey of a lifetime. So just really breathe and relax into it and have fun. It's meant to be fun, for me anyway. So you want to really decide what kind of reader you're going to be. Are you going to do it just like as a hobby, and you want to do it, you know, for your friends and family? Do you want to help support the collective? Do you want to start a YouTube channel? You know, maybe open a little shop for yourself. So really kind of keep that long-term goal in mind, but recognize that you're going to have to build until you're actually solid enough in your practice to get there, okay? So we talked about how people, they do intuitive readings. I've had a couple comments that a lot of people are not doing reversals the same way that I do because they get messages from their spirit guides. And just a side note, you guys, that didn't happen for me right away. The messages from spirit did not start happening for me in the first little bit. I need a sip of water. Sorry, guys. I have absolutely no idea where I was. So I'm just going to move on to, you know, when you first start reading, go to people that you trust, that you feel safe with, and do a sample reading for them, okay? And ask for feedback and be prepared. You know, some people are really afraid of tarot and they don't understand tarot, so they might not get it. They might not agree with your style or your interpretation, but that's why we start with friends and family, because they're a little bit gentler. Be prepared also if you're going to do some sort of social media tarot practice. People can be absolutely scorching, okay? People turn into keyboard warriors and it's like, wow, okay, you know, I just don't even I would never dream of saying some of the things that some people say in the comments. And I was like, wow. Okay, so I usually just, like, I either remove them and move on, or in some cases I've actually had to block people. So you have to be prepared for that side of it. Like, not everybody loves tarot, and there's some really angry people out there. So just saying, like, definitely don't compare yourself with other readers. You're expressing yourself through tarot. I think it's a really good idea to follow people on social media that are into tarot or any other sort of spiritual practice that you're into, so that you can receive constant feedback and constant different outlooks and interpretations. For me on Twitter, I follow people that make a difference in my life. Is Sid Whedon. Okay, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's been studying tarot since, what did he say, 1971. So his interpretations, they're really sharp and witty and, impactful. I follow a tarot reading couple. They are called Tarot for Today. They're also on YouTube. And I follow James Sweeney. And I follow tons of other people, but, you're going to resonate with other people in the community more than others. So find people that you're comfortable following. I follow a ton of tarot card readers on Instagram. And I do follow a couple of readers on YouTube, but I honestly, because I'm so busy with my content, I generally do not watch other people's videos unless I really need some distinctive support. I would really recommend that you don't read for yourself. And this is different for all people, and different people have, I'm going to say different again, different experiences. But when you're reading for somebody else, the experience is much more free flowing. But when you start to read for you, you start to overthink things, and, well, is that what is the message that is supposed to come in? Like, I don't know. And maybe you start freaking out and second guessing yourself. I really don't recommend reading for yourself. I've done it. I've tried it a couple times, and I'm like, well, that's really not the card I expected. So I just keep shuffling the deck and start over, and that's cheating. So I did do one successful reading for myself, and that was, I did a reading just as if I was preparing for a client. I wrote my questions out to myself. I sat down here. I did a video recording, asked my questions, and I did the reading, and it was much less self-conscious. There was no overthinking, and I waited a couple days before watching the reading, so I was successful that way. If you are going to do readings for a clientele base, you need to decide how you're going to deliver to that client. I know there's lots of tarot card readers that do a chat session, like on Facebook. They can do an instant message. They'll pull you a card. I find that one, unless it's done right, is a little bit, it just feels a little bit, I'm getting the word cheap. So it just felt like it was my experience with that one person. They just basically gave me like a 3-sentence answer, and for the amount of money that I paid, I felt like, really? So if you're going to be charging money, make sure that you're comfortable with the price, okay? Make sure that you are feeling valued, but also you have to give people value, okay? And not just, well, here's a photo of the card I pulled for you. Like, really study how other people are doing it. So for myself, I have chosen, I do a private video for people, and I upload it to YouTube, and the link is only goes to the person that I'm reading for. And the benefit of that is, for me, I do the reading super early in the morning. As you imagine, I do have neighbors. So I like to get my readings done when nobody is awake or nobody's dog is awake. And hopefully my own dog is sleeping. Also, I live very close to an airport. So there's not as many planes going overhead first thing in the morning. And the benefit for the client is that they tend to watch the videos over and over and over again, which I love, because it's like watching a movie, you know, and you watch it a second time. Oh, I missed that part. Okay. So that's how I have decided to do it. I've had a reading done where the particular reader, she used different kinds of spreads, and then you would choose the spread and choose the deck. So she wrote things out. She had a piece of paper with the positions of the cards. She actually put in photographs of what the cards meant. And then she wrote out a couple of sentences, you know, pertaining to each card that was in the spread. This is getting long-winded. But then she offered a 15-minute follow-up session. So that's completely up to you too. So this is why it's really good to watch other people, so you can develop your own style. And do you want to read for the collective, or read for private clients, or just read for yourself, friends, and family? So I have chosen to read for the collective because it's part of my mission here on Earth. As well as take private clients, because it does help people on their journey as well. So deciding or growing into what type of tarot card reader you're going to be is as important as studying the cards. Your readings, you might want to take notes of what you're doing, or record yourself if you're not super self-conscious on camera, and just try to forget about it. Like for me, I find the combination of reading tarot and creating videos is really bizarre, because I'm the first person out of the room if somebody whips out a camera to take a family photo. I'm gone. Okay. I'm just dust. So, but for me, I'm not self-conscious at all. So you want to have your own feedback, and don't be critical on yourself. It's like, oh, I should have thought of it this way, because tarot is free flowing. Okay. So you just have to let yourself just keep going, and just trust in yourself. And you're getting into tarot for a reason. You know, you've been guided, you know, the impulses that you get, or, oh, hey, I'm going to start this, it's your divine guidance. So just always believe that, and trust that you're on the right path for yourself. I like to meditate. It really opens me up and calms me down. I'm a little bit of an overactive thinker if I don't meditate, and then I invite my spirit guides in. There's different methods of inviting your spirit guides in. I know there's readers that they will burn a sage stick, or their feathers, or their crystals, you know, whatever. Or if you just want to get right into it, then that's your style, then do that too. Losing your self-consciousness, especially when you first start, that's going to be key. So you're just going to have to focus on the cards, focus on what you're doing, and decide if you want to do reversals. I talked about that before, but I think it's super important. That's one of the things that I see as a huge Twitter battle in tarot card readers, you know, and I'm like, I have more to do, like a better use of my time, than get into a debate on how I read tarot. Okay. So just don't get drawn into that, you guys. It's just a waste of energy that you'll never get back. And then you want to decide if you are going to use tarot spreads, or if you're going to use an intuitive spread. And that means that you just roll with it. I'll give you some examples. I know that you guys are probably subscribers on my channel, so you can see that I go back and forth. And I use a spread for the mid-month. I use the Starman tarot card deck, and I use the Star Guide spread. And that's just become a staple of what I produce, you know, my free offerings. The daily tarot card readings that I do are generally intuitive, and I use a different deck for every day of the week. Sometimes I like to kick off my reading with an oracle card. I have theme weeks on my channel, which are super fun. So if you guys ever have an idea for a theme week, I'm all about it. So just let me know. Spreads, I think they're really good when you first start reading, so that you can actually ask that question, look at the card, and have the card answer the question. Okay, so most of my clients, they send me questions. Okay, and I love that. If you are starting to serve clients, you gotta understand how long it's gonna take you to read for somebody. Okay, if you're setting limits, like I offer a certain amount of time. Okay, so this is how long your reading is. And if I get somebody that sends me like, and the longest reading I do these days, I used to do like an hour, and I would just be ready to collapse at the end of an hour. It was very strenuous. Okay, and maybe if I didn't have all this public content that I was doing as well, that would be different. So decide on that. The longest reading that I offer is 35 minutes because I find that really taxing already because I'm connecting to somebody's energy. But you got to think of all this stuff for yourself. What was I saying? What was my point? So yeah, I had somebody send me like 9 or 10 questions. And if you want to divide that into 35 minutes, it's like that's not possible, you know, and I really want to serve you. And I just went back and I said, is there any way you could rework your questions so that I could fit them all in? And I like at least 5 minutes to answer a question, you know, so really think about all of this stuff, you guys, and then you'll develop as you go along. So don't worry about it too much. Okay. So for spreads, every companion book that I've ever received, croaking, sorry, has spreads in it. So, and some of them are very, very complex. I see some readers doing a Celtic cross, but just know that, you know, spreads like that, you don't usually start right off the hop with them. Okay, so that is a little bit later down the road. I've never tried a Celtic cross because it's like and it's just not my thing. Okay, so here, this is it says easy tarot on the companion book, but this is actually the Gilded Tarot. Okay, so there's a few Gilded Tarot. There's a few spreads in here. I've never used one of them, quite frankly. And the Essential Tarot, it has the same thing too. It's got a few spreads in it. The only book that I ever pulled the 10 card spread or Celtic cross, not for beginners. Okay, so like, give yourself a break. Start soft, start easy. Like, if you want to blow your brains apart by trying a Celtic cross right out of the gates, be my guest, but then you could really put a block up for yourself. So just be careful how you start. So I've used spreads from the Starman because those really resonated for me. Okay, so most of the spreads that I've found is like, as I developed my content and what kind of a reader I was going to be, I have this giant like, you guys have no idea, I have 4 notebooks around me right now. I'm kind of the notebook queen. So, but I use them for everything. Okay, so I was doing spreads for my daily tarot card readings at first, and I wrote them all down in here, you know, and I used whichever one the mood hit, and then I was guided to transition to doing intuitive readings. Okay, so I've got for like everything. I've got full moon, new moon, month ahead, mid-month, bonus readings. So I use spreads for the bonus readings sometimes. I'm just going to tell you how I do things so it can hopefully help you decide how you want to do things, okay? So one of my very favorite things to do for the bonus reading is to use an oracle card deck and pull an oracle card and see what that has to say. You guys, you don't have to stick just to tarot card decks. There's Lenormand, which I do not understand. I've never used them. I had actually, I believe it was the Banshee and Mr. O from Tarot for Today. They gave me a Lenormand spread, and it was absolutely beautiful. The cards are amazing, but again, it's a different learning curve. Thankfully, most oracle card decks, they are just a singular topic. Right now, I'm using for my Thursday daily tarot card reading the Butterfly Oracle. But I have all these oracle card decks, and you guys will find out that once you buy one deck, that's not enough. So you'll probably end up with a collection sooner rather than later. And again, I just sort of want to dispel that adage that, you know, you have to be gifted with a tarot card deck, because who's going to sit back and give me like too many decks to count? I have them everywhere. So shop however you want to, whatever you feel connected with. Just really read the reviews, you guys, if you are shopping online. Some decks are ripoffs. Some are on really bad card stock, you know, so make sure you read the reviews. Like, this deck gave out on 3 shuffles, you know, because they're not strong enough, or the artwork isn't printed properly, or just like really be careful before you buy a deck, you know, make sure, because you want it to last for quite some time. So, okay, intuitive readings, it's just rolling with whatever the cards have to say. So that could be a little bit tricky to start off with. I just saw angel number 2121. So I actually want to do a little bit of a sample spread for you guys. And if you have any questions, like, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. So we'll do a little bit of a practice run here, and we'll make this as interactive as possible. So one thing I wanted to tell you guys, that maybe when you're starting off, you might want to have some sort of a notebook like this, and you can have it in front of you. If you're doing YouTube videos, I mean, if people see your notes, people see your notes. It's okay. You know, if you're reading for somebody else and they see your notes, it's okay, okay? Okay. So you might want to put, oh, what do the wands represent? Oh, they're fire, and they are forward motion and initiative. And, you know, put down the cups are related to water, and they're about emotion and intuition. And the swords are about intellect and very sharp-minded and witty people. And pentacles, they are about wealth and abundance and material matters. You can make notes also about what all the elements relate to as far as zodiac signs and confession. I have my notes over here for fire signs, earth signs, water signs, and air signs, because sometimes I'm like a donkey. I'm like I totally forget. So I need a little bit of a reminder. So, and I had notes everywhere when I first started reading. So make yourself comfortable, and then the notes will slowly fall away as you gain confidence, gain knowledge. Your memory acts as your friend instead of your enemy. So let's do a little bit of a practice reading for you guys. So you might want to get a pen and paper, okay? You can do things. I'm going to ask you guys to do your response. Okay, I've got a financial spread here. It's just a simple 3-card spread, so it shouldn't take long. I'm going to show you guys how to shuffle. I'm going to pull a card to answer the first question. So you guys can let me know what you think based on the first card. You can put it in the comments, or you can write it out yourself. Do a little practice for yourself. Don't worry if you're not getting the same interpretation as me or somebody else in the comments. It's the beautiful thing about tarot, is this coming from your heart. It's coming from your mind. You are sharing your gift. So my gift is not the same as yours. So it's amazing how people see things differently. And I think that is just so beautiful. And I'm at risk of like having a moment here. So anyway, I did bring the Gilded Tarot, and I brought the Essential Tarot, and they're behaving themselves quite nicely over here. Let's turn the camera down a little bit, and I'll show you guys shuffling. Okay, so again, some people, I have to get rid of this massive notebook over here, so hold on. I'm still here. Some people freak out on shuffling too, okay? Shuffle how you want to. They're your cards, okay? So I like to give it one of these. I'm shuffling the deck. It's a deck of cards, okay? This is why you need something with a really sturdy, I'm getting side-eye from Lacey like you would not believe. You need sturdy cards so that they won't fall apart or disintegrate in your hands, or they last for a year and then you got to chuck them out, and then you know that you'd never have to buy from that supplier again because they deal with garbage. Okay, so this is the Gilded Tarot. I do like to shuffle when I speak. If you guys have seen me on YouTube, I like to shuffle while I am, like, it gets the juices flowing, okay? And it can give you a breather if you're really like having a donkey moment. You're like, shuffle the deck, you know? Shuffle the deck. So I like to do it that way. I like to do a deck clearing between readings. So 3 sharp wraps. You can do, this is really popular, doing this kind of cut. I see a lot of readers doing this. I think I did it wrong, but I'm not going to deduct any points from myself. Shuffle however makes you happy. This is why you also might want to follow, oh man, I need a massive coffee injection right now. Shuffle how you want to, but you can pick up style tips from other people. Like, I love watching other readers, and I love watching people's background and what they've got, you know? Like, ooh, that's pretty. I like that crystal. I like that candle, you know? Oh, where did you get that deck, you know? So it gets really out of control, but it's really fun, and you get to connect with people that understand your passion, okay? So I have this 3-card spread here for finance. And the first question, it's the financial challenge, okay? So let's give ourselves a nice little free reading here related to wealth and abundance. Just going to shuffle the Essential Tarot card. I love working with 2 decks because it's a great amplifier. It's a great clarifier, okay? So let's do a little sample reading here, you guys. I'm going to start with the Gilded Tarot where we started shuffling. And then I'm going to do a deck cut. You guys do whatever matches your style. I'm going to pull the first card from the cut. Let's have the first question here. A card to represent what the financial challenge is. Okay, so we're... Oh. I mean, this is like such a good card to pull for this like practice reading. Okay, so you want to look at this card. What is going on? This is the 5 of Pentacles. I hope you guys watched every video that I did breaking down the Pentacles. If you don't remember and you were, you know, a really good student, maybe you wrote down your notes. So this is how you can start practicing your readings, okay? Got the spread there. Pulled the card. What does the card mean? I can't remember, okay? I remember. I'm just saying, you know, I've been in that position. Okay, so let's have a look at the artwork. There's 5 pentacles, and they are, it's almost like they kind of look like a flower of life, and it's shining a beam through this poor couple as they're huddled over a garbage can on fire. So A, not a good look. B, that must really stink. Their clothes, they're in rags, but we know that Pentacles is earth, is wealth and abundance, is earthly matters, money matters. The series that I went through, it was like really, you know, depicted how the Pentacles were a slow progression of working the way up on the journey to having tons of money, having tons of stability. But the 5s, they're a very challenging number, okay? So the 5 of Pentacles, what are you guys thinking that this means in regards to the financial challenge, okay? I just had this horrifying moment, okay? I'm recording the video and all of a sudden it says error. And I was like, no. So anyway, sorry we interrupted the spread here. So I finally found the video, but I had to start a fresh one, and I'll have to join them together. So if there's a little bit of a weirdness, that's what happened. So we left off with the Five of Pentacles, okay? And the question, what is the financial challenge? So, oops. There is a lack of perception of wealth and abundance going on here. So the Five of Pentacles, it's a sign to watch the bottom line, okay? This could be somebody really overspending. It's just like, that's the book meaning, okay? So you want to go to your book meaning, but for me, this is just people that are clueless about the wealth and abundance available to them to tap into it. There's something beckoning in the background. You can see the light piercing through the Five of Pentacles. It's like, hey, I'm over here, but the mindset is on poverty. Okay, so this is a time where you could also recommend certain types of reading to your client if that's what you're doing. I really like to recommend Bob Proctor. He's got a lot of really interesting videos. He's got a free book. It's a good time to recommend affirmations. Just decide on what you want to do. So the financial challenge is being completely unaware of people being a money magnet, or maybe being too prideful to accept an offer for somebody. So let me know what you think in the comments, or do it privately to yourself. So there's definitely like a self-deception about what is available going on, you know, because it's like you could turn around and pick something up here, you know, and be sort of more attracted to the light of abundance, but choosing to focus on what is not available. Okay, so quick thing about YouTube videos, if that's what you're doing for yourself, pick your own camera angle, okay? I get some really fierce comments about, your camera angle sucks. I'm like, well, it's working for me. You have to be comfortable or you can't read. That's something else that I wanted to talk about too. Don't force yourself to read. Like if you're feeling sick, give yourself a break. If you're not in the mood to read, you're not in the mood to read. If you're not up to it, you're not up to it. So never force yourself to do a reading. If you've scheduled a client, just be honest. Like, hey, I've got a headache, or like I'm not feeling well, or the energy is off. Can we postpone until whenever? So, but not too long, okay? Because especially if you're getting paid for it. So anyway, the financial challenge, Five of Pentacles, huge challenge mindset, indicates overspending, frivolity, really out of tune mindset, okay? So the next card is going to look at financial strengths, okay? So we'll pull a card. I'll show you guys the card first so you can have, okay. Your impression, 10 of Wands, okay? Remembering that Wands is forward motion. I'll just give you guys a second. I don't really have to because I'm just just recording a video, so I don't know what I'm waiting for. There's no audience in my living room shouting out like it's The Price is Right. Like for real. Anyway, so the message of the 10 of Wands, and you can go to your notes. You can go, this is also really good for you guys to write notes on the back of your cards or put post-it notes. Like I suggested before to get 2 of the same deck and use one for your tutorial and use one for life, okay? So the 10 of Wands, this is the financial strength, is just being able to tough your way out. Sorry. Sorry. Like just tough it out. Like the end is near, and telling yourself that everything is going to be okay. I've got this. This is just a period of time in my life. It's just a phase. It's not a lifetime. So the financial strength is just having the courage to get through, you know, a period of unemployment, or maybe not being able to put as much food on the table as you want to. And you can just sort of let your mind run with all the different possibilities and like the courage that it takes for this character to keep on going. With all the 10 wands on their back, it's like maybe there's that many people counting on you, you know? So really take your client, the situation, the card, everything. Sit as long as you want to sit to answer the card. You know, clarify if you need to. So we can do that at any time, you know? So if we want to clarify the 10 of Wands, okay? The financial strength is like having the courage and the energy and the strength to keep on going. But is that enough? You know, if you're not getting enough, or if you pull a card and you're like, well, I have absolutely no idea what that means. Clarify a card, shuffle a deck until you get your memory back, you know, until you get a jolt of inspiration. This is like not a sport, you know, this is life. And if you're reading cards for people, they're looking to you for a message. Like people, they want help, you know, so you can't rush the answer. You cannot fake the answer. When I first started doing YouTube videos, I would go on super long pauses and just say, you know, you guys, I'm just going to look at the cards for a second and let them all talk to me. Okay, so we can clarify this. Like, say, for instance, you pull the 10 of Wands and you're like, I don't know, don't have a hot clue. Okay. Okay, so this is also a very interesting combination. And I know you guys know that I say interesting a lot. Okay, so the financial strength is to keep on going, but then there's some sort of underlying thing that this person, I pulled the 5 of Cups, by the way, they've been on sort of a treadmill of misery, so they could have the strength to keep on going, but maybe they would do a lot better if they looked ahead all the time instead of looking at the past. So it looks like this could be a really good boost, like, but it could just be a temporary one where they are, okay, I've got all this energy, and then let life wear them down, which is why they could have all these 10 wands, because they're exhausted already, but they have these momentary spurts. Okay, so put the cards down, let them talk to you. I saw one reader talk about this. He said if the cards were actual people, what would they be saying to each other? And I found that kind of an interesting exercise, and I felt like it was a bit of a puppet show and kind of weird, but you know, if it works for you, it works for you. So this 5 of Cups is saying, you know, I had this tragic experience because the cups represent my emotions, and I'm looking at something that has spilt all the way over. And I can't get over it and look at these new opportunities. And that is affecting me. It is providing sort of a downfall to my financial strength to be able to keep on going. But it's like this cycle could really bring itself into a very long, extensive journey indicated by the 10 of Wands. Okay, so what did you guys get? So use the decks back and forth. Like I said, I love using multiple decks. It's kind of my jam. So the third card, you guys, we'll just keep it short and sweet. I go on the internet if I want to read for something. Ooh, full moon's coming in. Oh, it's Halloween. Like, I'll go on the internet, tarot card reading for, and then I'll look at them like it's kind of like Tinder. Nope. Ooh, yay. Swipe right. And then I save them all. I love them all. Okay. So the last card, this is just going to be a 3-card spread just to, you know, have some fun, you know, just kind of see where your instincts are, see where your brain goes. Remember to look at all the imagery and what is going on. Remember to look at your cheat sheet notes. Have your companion books beside you. Make sure you have a Lacy bear like I do. She just walked by and like, I just love her. So anyway, where will I find abundance is the third card that we're going to pull a Gilded Tarot for. Finance is a very popular question with my clients, you know, so just saying. Okay. Hi, sweetie. So I pulled the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so the wheel. I'll give you guys a second, even though you're not a live audience. So this can indicate a season of change, the close of a chapter, forward motion, things just about to happen. It's also an indication of a karmic lesson learned so that you're able to move forward. So the financial strength here, when you look back at these two cards, the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands, it's like this guy is all gung-ho and wants to move forward, but potentially isn't resolving an emotional issue that is holding the pattern, never going to be able to break free of that. And the wheel is ready to move forward, but this needs to be healed. You know, the struggle between pushing forward constantly, but looking back, and so maybe it was something to do with a relationship, or maybe just losing a job, like going down in flames and getting fired on the spot, or, you know, making some stupid gamble or playing the stock market. There could have been any type of situation that caused this, like, wow, I really messed up in the past financially or emotionally. It makes me want to move forward, but it's also holding me in, like, sort of just chasing the tail type of an energy. So the financial abundance will come in when the wheel moves, but it's not going to move until this has changed. Okay, the financial challenge with the Five of Pentacles, not being able to see the forest for the trees, you know, being stuck in the middle of a vortex of really feeling sad here, and really trying to force things with the Ten of Wands, and showing like massive potential and massive strength and courage and power, but kind of deflecting what is actually going on here. One thing you want to look for, another thing you might want to look for is matching numbers here. I interpret those as angel numbers, and I like to point those out, okay, to the audience. You've got angel number 55, so you might want to look that up after the reading. So you can clarify any of these cards, you know, if you want to see what's going on with the wheel. The wheel wants to move, but you can see with the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, which is a stuck energy. Fives are very stuck and challenging. When will the wheel move? I really try not to predict time for people, because I'm not in charge of time. The universe is. I get my messages from my spirit guides, and then human decision and human factor, human failure has a lot to do. Like, I can give as much advice as I want, but if somebody goes, well, that was a totally crappy reading, Robin, and I'm not taking any of that advice, how can I predict when things are going to happen? Do you know what I mean? So, oh, this is so cool. Okay, so we decided to clarify the wheel card, okay? And then the Lovers came up. So remember all your notes about the Lovers. You could be making your own notes here. You could watch the video and pause so I don't talk over top of your own thoughts. Oh, Robin pulled a card, so I'm going to pause. You might want to rewind and see what kind of reading you can build for yourself after listening to my interpretation, but try not to let it sort of overflow or overlay on your own flow of thinking. So I pulled the Lovers. So there could be somebody very beneficial coming in. You know, this could be somebody that can help you out romantically as well as financially. Like my mother always said, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man, and bless her heart, I'm still trying. I'm not even kidding. So the Lovers, but this could also be having that self-love, like really aligning with your heart and understanding how beautiful you are. So this is a true partnership, but it could be with the self, or it could be with an external partner. Okay. And once this happens, Where will you find your abundance once this happens, this love, this partnership, internal or external? The wheel could change, providing that financial abundance and overcoming this lack mindset with the Five of Pentacles, the emotional distress and looking backward, and really giving yourself time to enjoy your life instead of constantly grinding and the treadmill speeding up but never actually going anywhere. Okay, so that was just a 3-card reading, you guys, as a sample. You can pull as many cards as you want to answer the question. Use your oracle cards, use whichever deck. I'm surrounded by decks and I'm very blessed for that. I can't really think of anything else that I need to share with you guys at this particular time, so I'm going to wrap it up. Again, let me know with questions. If you want me to do another session on anything, let me know and I'll provide that to you guys, because love you guys all so much. So take care. Bye.